Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rock Shop with Ralph, your source for all things entertainment. Tonight, we have legendary vocalist Graham Bonnet, who's played with some of the biggest names in the music business. Let me give you these guys. Yngvie Malmsteen, Steve Vai, some guy called Richie Blackmore, my favorite drummer in the world, Cozy Powell, among many, many others. I'd like to welcome Mr. Graham Bonnet.
Hello, yeah. Hi, how are you, man?
I am doing great. Kicking life in the nuts. That's what I say.
Well, yeah, okay.
How are you doing? Are you in LA now or you're in England?
Yes, I'm in bed at the moment. Yeah, I've been living in LA since 1979. We go back to England once in a while to play, but I left that country a long time ago. So my kids were born here. I'm an American citizen, blah, 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 blah. So I've been here a long, long time. But I still have my accent, which is I'm pretty proud of. I won't go to the other side, and suddenly start talking like, talking like you.
Talking like me, right?
Or California.
Okay. Well, I just met your lovely other half, Bethany.
The other half. Yeah. There's only half over there. Yeah.
Well, she's got a nice California accent.
Has she?
Hey, she don't sound like you.
She's from New York.
I love it. It's funny because, and I always start the interview off with this. When I start talking, people are like, they laugh because they're like, wow, you sound just like New York, when you're from England or you're from California. But when you're from New York, they never say it. It's just like they talk back and forth that they're used to it. But whatever. You're almost a New Yorker. You recorded in New York.
Well, yeah, but it didn't. The accent didn't work. Well, Richie's been living on the East Coast for a million years, but he still sounds like Richie Blackmore.
Absolutely.
He doesn't have that fake,
We'll get to that. But I want to say I am honored to be interviewing you. I'm a huge fan of yours. Here, I want to start very, very, very little. I want to talk about the beginning, the band, The Marbles. I've never spoke to somebody. You had a couple of hits that were written by the Bee Gees.
Yeah. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have a career, basically.
Right. I've never interviewed somebody that recorded that or knew the Bee Gees.
Yeah. Well, it was me and my cousin. We made the record, the two of us, and we were called like the British Righteous Brothers, if you will. So it's me and my cousin. My cousin used to play guitar with the Bee Gees when he was a kid.
Wow.
Back in whenever it was, when he was about 13. My cousin had, in Australia this was, my cousin had his own TV show, and he invited the Bee Gees to play on his TV show, etc., etc. And when they moved to England, my cousin moved over to England too, and me and my cousin hooked up, and we were playing in our little band, our little garage band in London, and it just happened that the Bee Gees' old manager was in the audience, and said to my cousin Trevor, "Hey Trevor, I'm sure that Barry and Robin and Morris would like to see you after all these years." And he goes, "What? Okay." So my cousin got the number from him, and next day went to see Barry. And my cousin said, "Well, my cousin sings too. That's me." And they invited me along to see Barry and meet Robert Stigwood and Robin and Morris as well. So that was quite a night. We sat around playing guitars, singing Stevie Wonder tunes and Beach Boys, and of course Beatles. Everything. And this perfect freaking harmony was like coming from every wall. It was incredible. What a night that was, to hear those guys who have been singing since they were little babies, perfect harmonies. Right. And my cousin and I were just blown away. And then Robert Stigwood walks into the room and says to Barry Gibb, "Do you have a song for these boys to record them? We'd like to record something with them because they sound really good." And Barry came up with a song called "Only One Woman," which happened, like a week. We're in the studio recording this thing.
It comes so naturally to those guys. I watched that documentary on them. It was.
I mean, Barry he's got one of those brains that can turn to any genre of music, country, blah, 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 reggae, anything, because they've been doing it since they was little kids. And they did it so perfectly. You watch old clips of the Bee Gees when they're on Australian TV. They were like the Osmonds. Just everything was just dead on, and they sang jazz stuff and everything. So Barry had a lot of that in his mind, and lots of different kinds of music, and that came out in his writing later on. It became more R&B, influence.
Where most people would have would record a song and they would use horns in the background, the Bee Gees use vocals.
I mean, that's right? Something I like. I like to use vocals, on the stuff we record. It's I'm a big Beach Boys fan, a big Beatles fan, obviously, and all those harmonies.
Yeah, I knew that.
I mean, Brian Wilson is one of my heroes, and God, I wish I could write songs like God Only Knows.
On the Smile album, right?
Holy crap. I mean, that was genius,
Yes, I know.
I love that guy. I've never met him, but, he was friends with the Bee Gees, actually, the Beach Boys, Bee Gees, blah, blah, blah. But, if it wasn't for Barry and Robin and Morris, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, They wanted to record my cousin on his own, but my cousin Trevor mentioned that I sang too, and they liked the way I sounded, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah, so here's the thing that I love about you. You're associated with rock, hard rock, metal, however you want to call it, but you're basically you're an R&B singer. You love that stuff. And one of my favorite songs from you was "Warm Ride," which was another Bee Gees song. And well, I mean, you're laughing, but for the era, it was like a disco-y song. It was left off the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack.
Exactly. It was supposed to go into the movie, Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
And it was like recorded a little bit too late or something. But Robin wrote that, Robin Gibb, and he wrote it on a little instrument called a clavulin, I think you call it. You blow down this thing, and it's a keyboard. It sounds really weird, really hokey sounding. But Robin doesn't play anything. And so Barry and Morris played different instruments. They were all they were into that, but Robin didn't play a thing. His voice was his vocal, the way he sounded, not from his guitar playing or anything like that. And Robin sent me this bloody awful demo. I'll never forget it. I remember going up to my manager's office in London, and he says, Robin's written a song for you. And I said, oh, can I hear it? He said, yeah, but don't laugh.
Right.
And it was really, really bad until Barry got hold of it and, wrote words for it and put the melody together properly. And Robin used to get a bit spaced out on our version of Quaaludes, which are called Mandrake. And he didn't make much sense sometimes, but then some of it we all did at one point or other in our lives back then. Mandrax was the big drug, and that was Robin's favorite. Wow. But the song was turned into a good song, disco, and I didn't want to do it. I thought, I don't want to do this.
Listen, Kiss had "I Was Made for Loving You," and you had "Warm Ride." But I'm telling you, I like that song. I like that song, man. That song. But I mean, I can't say enough. It was the disco era. I mean, it's just like, people that grew up in the 70s and wore those clothes, they look back at them now and they're like, whoa, but that's a song. I mean, it turned me on to, because I'm going to get to Rainbow now. Here's what I want to ask you. As we were talking before, I'm a huge Dio fan. I'm a huge Rainbow fan. I mean, I got Long Live Rock and Roll on my arm. The rumor was that you were going to be the lead singer of The Sweet, and Richie picked you to be the singer in Rainbow now and wanted you to audition, and you went and you auditioned. Here's what I wanted to ask you before we even get to that. Were you hesitant because Ronnie was the singer and like he was I guess he didn't have legendary status yet, but he was. I mean, those are big shoes to fill. And you take your last single that you had was "Warm Ride," and you're going to play like this metal style music. It's like me as a fan, when I first saw you, I was like, what the fuck is this? The guy's got slick back hair. The guy's got mirrors. He's got sunglasses on. But then when you started singing, bro, I was like, wow, this is great. But here's what I want to ask you. Were you very hesitant Were you intimidated
Yeah.
by replacing Ronnie James Dio? That's my
Yeah,
question.
well, I didn't, what I had to do was go out and buy the records of Rainbow because I'd never heard of Rainbow.
Right.
At this point, I was living in England. I didn't know who Rainbow were from Adam. I knew about Deep Purple. I heard that the Rainbow guitar player was from Deep Purple. I thought, oh, okay, I know Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water, blah, blah, blah. But then I bought the albums, those days, the vinyls, and played them. And I thought, well, this isn't my kind of, I don't sing like that. I don't look like that. And yeah, it was kind of a bit weird. And I went to had the audition, and they gave me the, thumbs up and all that stuff. And I went back to England, and I said to my manager, I don't think I fit with those guys because they're kind of, they've got the long hair and the stuff, which I gave up like 10 years before because I was kind of a hippie type. And I wanted to look a little bit different from everybody else when I was doing my solo stuff. So I took to the sort of 1950s kind of thing because the long hair with me was overdone. I had the hair down to my butt. I was real hippie looking. I looked like Jesus, you know what I mean? And the patches on the jeans and rips, everything, a bit like people now, really. I thought, well, it's time to change. And at that time in London, the punk era was starting.
Yeah, like 79, 80.
Yeah. And they started to wear the hair shorter. And, guys were wearing suits. And at one point, there was a big fashion in England where all the guys wore like GI uniforms and that kind of thing. And so I thought, well, I might just take that, that's a good idea. Because I love doo-wop music and R&B music from the 50s, I love that stuff.
So did Ronnie.
Yeah, I know he did, yeah. We talked about this because, it's kind of funny, I did a song he recorded.
Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?
Yeah. And it was like, oh, fucking hell. Yeah, so, we both have the same kind of taste, but he was in this genre of heavy rock music, which I didn't really like that much back then. I knew who Led Zeppelin were, etc. Those kind of bands, and they never really interested me. It was always the songwriter, which I call songwriter bands, like the Beatles, of course, the Beach Boys, the Kinks, the Who, all that, those guys, and not so much into the, all that, or bluesy things. But I loved R&B, and that's where I was stuck. I loved R&B songs, and I recorded a few, and I couldn't see myself changing to do this sort of, semi-gothic sounding, music. I wasn't really into it. Well, but then when I did it, started recording, I thought, fucking hell, this is good.
It was, but what I understood was Richie wanted to go more commercial and Ronnie didn't. So that's why Ronnie decided to leave. Did Richie explain to you, like, you might have said to Richie, I don't think I fit here. And did Richie say to you, no, we're going for a different sound. We want to be commercial. And you're the guy for this band. Was that what transpired? Yeah,
well, sort of. But they wanted to change the look of the band too. They had a bass.
Oh, you really did?
Yeah, they sure bloody well did. They had this Scottish bass player come in. His name was Jack. Oh, crap, I've forgotten his second name. But his name was Jack. And he was really Scottish. But he had short hair. He had a suit with a slim Jim tie. The whole, like me, very similar. And they wanted to change the look of the band because they thought they were looking a bit dated, And Roger thought, he was thinking, well, I'm an old man now. But Roger was recording the bass parts. And I said to him one day, why is Jack here? What's the point of him being here? He said, well, he's listening to my bass parts and he's going to copy them and record on the album. I mean, play them live, I should say, because Richie wants to change the image of the band, a younger image, believe it or not. So that was kind of...
Clive Chayman, wasn't that him? The bass player.
His name is Jack.
Oh, okay.
Jack, oh God, I can't remember his second name.
All right, doesn't matter.
But he he said, well, I said to Roger, well, if he's going to just copy your parts, what's the point? I said, why aren't you in the band because you're Deep Purple, blah, 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 and you're friends with Richie, you've known each other for freaking years, and Cozy. And Roger said to me, well, nobody's asked me to be in the band. And I said, would it make any difference if I asked you?
There you go.
And he said, well, I guess, but you better ask Richie too. So I said, Roger, blah, blah, blah. I think, it'd be great if you were in the band because you're a great freaking bass player and a great producer as well. So I went to Richie and I said, he said, I know what you've said. You don't need to say a bloody word. He said, you've asked Roger to be in the band. I said, yeah, I did. I said,
Jack Green.
Well,
Jack Green was his name.
Jack Green, that's it.
From the Pretty Things was the band.
My freaking life.
No, it just, when I turned 51, I'm starting to think, I'm usually really good. I started to forget a couple of things here and there, but it didn't come to me right away. But Jack Green from the Pretty Things was the bass player.
That's right. And he made a single later on. I can't remember what the name of the single was.
That I don't know.
Something like Japanese, like a Japanesey theme. But anyway, I mean, so that's what happened. And so Jack went back to England and Roger was suddenly in the band.
Right. And I got to tell you this, Graham. I was a kid when I love music since I'm a kid, and Rainbow was a big influence on me. And when I first saw you, I got to be honest with you, I was like, what the hell are they doing? Who is this guy? He was like, you look like sort of like Elvis and Freddie Mercury stuck together, but you brought it, man. You had the slick back hair, you had the gliss. And when you started singing, I was like this. I was like, holy shit. It clicked. It clicked.
I've told this story a million times over. And Bethamy's probably fucking sick of hearing it. But the first gigs I did, I was very nervous about doing that because people were holding up, bring back Ronnie, and all that kind of shit. And we did a song we did in rehearsal, but we never actually played live. Only a couple of times. It's a song, Would You Still Love Me Tomorrow?
Right.
And one night these guys were down front, giving me the finger. Fuck off, you fucking faggot, all this. And so I thought, that's amusing.
Yeah, wow.
And so, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? Richie started playing the D chord. He started doing the arpeggio thing. And I looked at him, I go, oh, okay. And I saw these guys with their signs and whatever else. And I sat down right in front of them and said, sang the way, tonight you're mine, completely. To these guys. And they shut down. And suddenly they started smiling. And they were on my side. It was great. And they applauded me.
You won them over.
Yeah, because,
of course,
it's not the haircut or whatever you wear. It's what comes out of your...
Exactly. But I'm just saying, people are so infatuated with the look, and you were the unconventional look of somebody in hard rock. I mean, when you say who is the name one person that doesn't look like they belong in a hard rock band, you first come to mind is Graham Bonnet. You know what I mean? But when you sing, your voice, there it is. You bring it. And you still bring it.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky to have.
Look at you, Graham Bonnet, 2021. You sound the same. I mean, it's unbelievable. But one thing I wanted to mention. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Myself, actually. Yeah, because a lot of people have lost it.
Exactly.
But, what it is, me and Beth were talking in the car today. I think because I was lucky enough to I started my career basically when I was about 14. I played in a dance band playing guitar and singing sort of standard songs and developed a lot of different styles of singing. Singing what I would say is properly, not not
you weren't screaming.
Yelling. Not that Ronnie did that. I know he didn't. But you know what I mean? That sort of the falsetto business. That I learned lots of different techniques, and I think because I had that experience when I was just a young kid, which I hated. I couldn't stand going to play with this bloody dance band, wearing a bow tie and the suit and the
yes.
I was like, the sheet music, the band reader would call out a number. Okay, number 406. Oh, bloody hell. We play for about 4 or 5 hours every night for dancing. And then I would get up and sing she gets too hungry, you know, and with the jazz voice.
Right.
And that was one voice. Then I would get up and sing a comedy song with a Cockney accent. Climb up, little darling, into the caravan, you know, all that sort of shit. And Benny Hill songs or whatever. But that gave me the experience and gave me a lot of voices. And it trained me to, you know, keep my voice in shape, I think. And
absolutely,
you know, I don't practice or whatever. I'm very lazy when it comes to that. But I've just been lucky.
Yeah.
And because a lot of my friends, you know, who are great singers, just don't do it anymore.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. And, you know, as a fan, I got so attached to Graham Bonnet being in Rainbow. And guess what? He does one album and leaves.
Yeah. They were.
He does one album and leaves. So now I'm like, son of a bitch. And what happens? Another Long Island that goes in the band, Joel Turner. But we're not even going to talk about that. But just because I know we're pressed for time, Rainbow did the inaugural Monsters of Rock.
Yeah.
You played that gig. But you're most known for the single Since You've Been Gone. And it was written by Russ Ballard. It wasn't even written by the band. People think that Blackmore and you guys wrote it.
I know. Well, that was, I remember the debates that would go down every day. Are we really going to do that fucking Since You've Been Gone? I can remember the meetings, you know, Cozy going, oh, fuck, we're not going to really do that. You know, blah, 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 blah. And so Cozy gave it the hammers and it all worked fucking great. I mean,
oh, man.
He gave it the shit and it turned into a different damn song.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned Cozy because I'm a drummer and Cozy is my drum hero. I emulate him. I wish I could play a quarter of what the guy knows. Well, I have to ask you because I had never interviewed anybody that knew Cozy that played with him. What was he like?
Great. He's a very close friend, and he used to take me aside sometimes and say, "Don't listen to anything that Richie says. He starts to put you know about the hair, He said, "Don't listen to that." So I would stay with Cozy and his then wife Maddie in Oxford when we were making the album, or what if we're playing in England even. I'd go there with him. But he was a very close friend. I'm glad to say I'm proud to have known him, and I miss him still. I think about him every fucking day.
Wow.
And we talk about him every day. Me and Bethany. Don't we, love?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't get to meet him.
She wishes she met.
Neither did I, Bethany. But he's a musical hero of mine.
Yeah.
You know,
and he's a Capricorn.
He's a Capricorn.
Our birthdays were very close together, and you know, both in. I'm December 23. He was December 26 or something.
Yeah,
same age.
I could talk to you for hours. I'm going to try to move along because I know you're pressed for time.
Yeah.
But hold on. Now I'm following you, and I says, you know, he's gone from Rainbow, but I am so happy because I believe this album is your career watermark thus far. I'm not, because I'm sure you have a better album in you, but Lineup has to be my favorite Graham Bonnet album. Okay. And let me give you the musicians on this album. Mick Moody from Whitesnake and many others, my boy Cozy, okay, John Lord, and then you had the two Status Quo guitarists, Francis Rossi and Rick Parfitt. I mean, the song Night Games, I mean, Jesus Christ, it's like ear candy. And my other favorite on there is California Air.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We like that, don't we? California Air.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm very proud of the new stuff we're doing, the GB band, so to speak, or whatever the hell we are. I hate to put my name on things, but that's what we are at the moment, to get away from the Alcatrazz thing. But you know, that song goes down great when we play it live. It really does. Something about it, you know, Since You've Been Gone. It has that Since You've Been Gone-ish, you know, sort of vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
It's one of those songs where the audience will sing along, you know.
Mm-hmm. You know, so I mean, what's in store for you? Because I could talk to you for hours about all your bands and everything that's going on, but we want to keep it current. I know. You know, the last one you did, the book. It was a decent album, and you're saying you're recording another album.
Yeah.
Now in your band, is it still Joe Stump, Bethany? No, it's not.
It's Bethany. Yeah. At the moment, it's our old guitar player was on the first album, Conrad Pesinato.
Okay.
Me, Bethany, and at the moment we have guest players on the album because we're trying to figure out what we're going to do live. So on the album, there's like, oh Christ, what have we got? Jeff Loomis.
Okay.
Yeah. Don Airy.
Oh, great Don Airy.
You're the great Don Airy. Indeed.
Huh?
I think he played in a couple of unknown bands.
Roy Z.
Roy Z's producing, correct?
No.
Oh, he's playing guitar.
He is a producer, guitar player, whatever, but Conrad's producing this.
Along with
Bethany. Bethany and Conrad are our producers.
Awesome.
Producers. Yeah.
Producer.
So it's a hell of a lineup, and I'm really grateful that who else did we get a song from?
The Tempesta Brothers.
Oh yeah, the Tempesta Brothers.
John Tempesta.
Yeah, John and Mikey. So they got a track on there. I'm sorry, we've just finished recording. Actually, we just finished and everything's being put in the package, so to speak, and it's all ready to go. It sounds pretty freaking good, actually. I'm really.
Now, are you still signed to Frontiers?
This one is.
It's on Frontier.
Yeah, this one is. Yeah.
Awesome. Serafino Perugino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I interviewed a lot of artists from Frontiers.
Yeah.
A lot of artists. So what's I mean, to me, all I'm going to say is there is no Alcatrazz without Graham Bonnet. So you're going to put Alcatrazz back together, and we're going to see an album from them as well, from you guys as well.
It won't be those guys.
Oh, you, I said.
It'll be me. Yeah, it'd be Jeff Loomis. I've already written three songs with him. That's all very hush hush at the moment.
Could we get Steve? Could we get Steve back in the band? Could we get Steve back in the band? What do you think? You want to make a call?
Who?
Steve Vai.
Oh, Steve Vai. Okay, Yngvie Malmsteen too.
Oh, boy. See, I didn't ask about him. Everybody asks about him. I didn't ask about him.
No, it's going to be a Jeff Loomis and Graham, and we'll see. It's still in the planning process, We've got a long way to go with that because we've got to promote this album. Because I'm really happy with this album with Bethany and Conrado. It's back to being at home again and feeling comfortable with people who are not shysters and not fucking bullshitters.
I struck a nerve.
Real musicians as opposed to bloody. I can't slam them anymore.
I got to tell you, I don't mean to interrupt you, Graham, but your current band, your Bethany, I mean, that band you have is phenomenal. I mean, you guys bring it, and the sound and your voice. So if that's even an inkling of what's to come, I'm so looking forward to it. I really am, and I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. I'm being dead serious. I really do look forward to it.
If you like the first album, you'll like this one too.
I
think the first Graham Bonnet band album, whatever.
Right.
You'll like this a lot.
And you're planning to tour all over the States, wherever they want you?
Yeah, that's in the plan. We now have new management, and we're going through, we're planning what's going to happen with this band in the future. But it's looking very good, I must say.
Good.
It really is. And I'm so happy with this album. We listened to it, some of it today. You sort of get, it's all right, but it's not that fucking great. But, listen to it again and again and again, bores the shit out of you. But we listened to it again today, 3 or 4 or 5 tracks, and it sounds fucking great.
I really can't. I really can't wait, because I'm telling you, your voice has stand the test of time. I mean, it really did, and it really does. And I look forward to the future. I mean, I can't say enough, because I don't want to knock anybody. I don't like to criticize. I mostly like to compliment. So I will compliment you on your voice. But there's some guys that are out there that just can't do it anymore, and your vocals, they're like pitch perfect, it's great.
I try. I try my best. It's I'll tell you one thing that I did have done to my throat a few years ago, this is a while back actually. A few years ago, I went to my throat guy, and he said, you know, one of my right vocal cord was really damaged. And so what he did was pump it up to where it used to be, so that I got that voice back again. So there's no like, no growling stuff. I was getting very raspy at one point. But this, when he put this needle into my damn vocal cord and pumped it up with cortisone, it's been good now for, God, when did I have that done? That's
4 years ago.
about 4 years ago,
5 years
something like that. I mean, my voice was still there, but this, I didn't realize how damaged it was. He said there's a lot of scar tissue on that right vocal cord. He says there still is, but it's more or less back to where you were when you were about 30.
Wow. Yeah, you sound just, I can't say it enough. I mean, I said it 3 times already, but I got one question about Alcatrazz and then we can go.
All right.
With Yngvie, the song Jet to Jet. It, to me, every time I hear it, it sounds like Kill the King by Rainbow. Was that intentional because of his influences on, because I know how much you love Richie Blackmore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was Richie Blackmore for a while. I mean, he wore the same clothes, had his style, but then Yngvie went his own way and developed into the great player he is. I mean, that kid just had it at 19 years old.
He's 58 years old now.
Away. Yeah,
yeah,
he's a fantastic player. He really is. I've never put him down except for his attitude.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody. That's what they say.
Yeah.
They say his attitude. How was your relationship with him and Richie?
Zero.
Okay.
I haven't spoken to Richie since I left the band in 1980.
Wow. Okay, I'm glad I asked you.
Yngvie, I saw about 20 years ago at a NAMM show, I think.
Okay,
we don't talk.
We don't talk. All right.
We tried to get him to, write a song for his new album, but he wasn't interested.
He's too big. He's too big for you.
Huh?
He's too big for you, I guess, huh?
Yeah. I mean, years ago.
You shouldn't have kicked that wire out of it. You shouldn't have kicked that guitar.
I know. Yeah. You know that fucking story. Yeah, that was the end of my. Yeah, that's when Yngvie was fired that night. He tried to kill me. But years ago, when we were friends again, so to speak, we were going to do an acoustic set in Japan. We were invited to do a set, me and him, in Japan. And the money was like, what? How much? It was unbelievable. Absolutely, like, ridiculously. Like, you could buy a few thousand cars with it or whatever.
Wow.
And I said to him, I was on the phone with him, he said, fucking hell, man. I said, yeah, that'd be great. Just the two of us. I said, how much are we going to get paid? We couldn't believe the fee. It was like a lot.
A lot of money.
And his wife got back on the phone later with me and says, Yngvie's not going to do that. He doesn't need you, And that was the end of that. But I think it would have been a really nice, it was a one-off show.
Wow.
In Tokyo. And we're going to do like, an hour or something, but acoustically. And it would be really great.
I would have paid to see that.
So would I. But,
what could you do, Graham?
I think his wife looks after his career a bit. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I've had Bethany has helped me out a lot over these past few years and getting myself back together and on the road.
She keeps you on the straight and narrow too.
Yeah, because I got bored with it too. It's like, oh fuck. I mean, what do I do now? Do I go back to being Alcatrazz? Is it going to be Alcatrazz forever, or can I do something a little bit different?
Right.
Which I think with this new album, I think it has a new sound, a modern sound, but it still has that element of past recordings.
That's all we ask for. I mean, I'll follow you. I'll buy anything that you do, because I've been a fan for years, and I really do mean that, Graham. I really appreciate
you coming. Greg.
I did. I called you Greg for a second. But I caught myself. My friend is Greg. He's in the other room. That's why I called you that.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg, you all right?
Yeah. Now when they go, when everybody's, give me a since you've been gone. Come on.
Hi. I get the same old dreams, same time every night.
He gave me the country. You gave me the Long Island version. But anyway, thank you so much, Graham. It's been an honor. I really do mean it.
Thank you.
I will follow you no matter what. And fuck Yngvie and fuck Richie. Plain and simple. That's the New Yorker telling you that. You don't need them.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Graham has a new album coming out. We got to watch for him on his Facebook page. And also a new Alcatrazz album, Graham Bonnet's Alcatrazz. We're going to be looking forward to that too. 2022, Graham? In 2022, both of them?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Hopefully.
Yeah, follow him on his Facebook page. And your website, is it up and running?
Yeah.
No.
Thank you, Bethany.
On the Facebook page, yeah.
Thank you, Bethany. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
See, you need her. You need her.
Help.
All right. Thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. I'll be talking to you soon.
All right, but thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.